Welcome to Logical-NDE. My name is Emily, and it is my pleasure to narrate the near-death experiences of those who have seen the other side. If you are new to our channel, welcome. For our regular viewers, please sit back and enjoy today's episode.
My name is Phillip Siracusa. I'm from Staten Island, New York. Now reside in Easton, Pennsylvania. My near-death experience happened in 1981. It was a routine visit I had to go to at the dentist office. My mom had taken me. And I remember just checking my teeth and the teeth cleaning and all that stuff. And I was in pain. My teeth are very sensitive, so the dentist gave me nitrous oxide. It was the assistant in the room, my mom, and the dentist. And I kept pulling his hand away because I kept feeling the pain from him pulling at my teeth. So he says to the assistant, turn up the nitrous oxide. And they turn it up, and I felt myself about 30, 40 seconds later drifting out of my body. I levitated to the ceiling, and I turn around, and I'm looking at my body. I'm looking at my mom and the dentist, and I'm like, hello, hello. And then I'm being pulled through the ceiling of the dentist office up into the sky, up into this tunnel, and I'm going very, very fast through the tunnel. Halfway through the tunnel, I start to hear melodies, very soothing melodies. And at that point, when I was hearing the melodies, I left the physical part behind of that's me in the dentist chair. That's over. Then being pulled through the tunnel, I see a pinhole of light, and I'm drifting like gravitationally pulled to the light, and opens up a magnificent sky, a crystal blue, perfect sky that was see through in such a way you can see on and on and on. I'm being turned to the right, and through my spirit, mind, and eyes, because now this is my spirit body, my soul, I see these tremendous gates, and I'm going through these gates, and I'm pulled into a garden. When I'm in the garden, I felt like I was home. Now that's hard to explain, but that was home more than the physical realm is home. I felt at one, I felt peaceful. The garden is perfect. Every flower, every leaf, every tree, every petal, everything was perfect. And I'm levitating through the garden, feeling the vibration of love, of ecstasy. And then after that, I'm pulled into a large field that goes on for thousands of miles, and you can see right through the field. Each blade of grass is perfect, but more importantly, each blade of grass and everything from the garden to the field is alive in such a way you can feel the vibration of creation through it. This girl was slowly coming closer to me from a far distance, and she looks at me and I recognize her, but I don't know from where. And she says, "Follow me." And she doesn't touch me or grab my soul's hand. She pulls me by a gravitational force through the garden, and I'm feeling this peace within, like I'm finally back home. She takes me off to the left side where I see a park. I see a park bench with two elderly people, and then the young girl drifts away. Now, the young girl looked about my age, and I was 14. She looked about that age. The elderly people turn around, and it's my grandparents. And it was my grandfather who I never met because he died way before I was born, and he had a top hat on and a suit with this perfect smile. And then to the right of him was my grandmother who died earlier that year in 1981. And they looked like they were 60s, 70s, but a great look, not a look like we would look in the physical realm. And I think they looked that way because they were showing me the reflection of who they are on that side so I would recognize them as well. And he goes, "Hello, Sonny," my grandfather. And I smiled. And I says, "Grandpa." And then I look at my grandmother, and my grandfather looks at my grandmother. He goes, "What's Philip doing here?" My grandmother smiles, but then she looks at me and points her finger and says, "Go back." And I feel like I'm being pulled backwards now. And I'm being pulled right through the gates into this tunnel that's tremendous. And I'm going really fast backwards. And I remember through the intent of my spirit mind, I didn't want to go back to the physical realm. I somehow stopped myself and I look around. It's a 360 degree that we have on that side. There's nothing but darkness and the cosmos of the universe. And I felt like I was never going to be found. That was scary. I'm pulling myself through my mind back to heaven. And I reach the point of this opening and I see the light in the sky. And then I'm pulled one more time backwards again, really fast, right through this tunnel that has very windy and long, into a sky, over a hospital roof, through the ceiling of the hospital roof, and I'm hovering over my body on the ceiling in just the room where they're working on me, and I was given oxygen and whatever else was happening to me. And I says to myself through the spirit mind, I don't want to go back into that body. And then I'm slipped as if you put a glove on, I'm slipped right into the body. And I'm gasping for air, gasping for air. And I had an allergic reaction to the nitrous oxide. I was born allergic to almost everything, and I guess that really did me in. A couple days later, at home in Staten Island, I remember telling my mom I've been to heaven, and it was dismissed. Telling your parents you've been to the other side, they dismiss it as a hallucination or a dream state. And then I started to believe that. At 14, what else would you believe? There were no shows or things I heard of at that age about people crossing over and coming back. So I lived on a normal life, and a year later, I'm 15 years old. I'm in the backyard of my parents' home in Staten Island. Beautiful summer day, and I look up at the sky, and it says, "God, if I was really at your home, please give me a sign." With intent, I said it. My mom had said, she yells out the back door, "Hey, we're gonna go for a walk. Come on." So she takes my brothers, my sisters, and myself for a walk on this long street that we lived on. My father was working in Manhattan at the time. And we're walking, just a beautiful summer day. And I felt this vibration on the right side of me, and I turn, and it's the girl from heaven. And I remember shaking my mom in front of me. "Mom, this is the girl from heaven." And she said, "I don't see anybody, Philip." My brothers are looking at her, they don't see anybody. But my oldest sister says, "I see her." And she's talking to her. But now she's talking to her through the voice, audibly. And I'm smiling because I felt that peace within. I felt like a miracle was answered. And I felt like I knew this girl, but I didn't know from where. And my sister felt like she knew her from where. And they're talking and skipping along. And the girl had on blue jeans, a beautiful shirt with flowers on it. These were the same flowers I seen in the Garden of Heaven. The same flowers. And I was so at peace within to know that my sister is talking to her, acknowledging her. They just laughing and joking around. And then about a block away, as we keep walking, she disappears and she's gone. Nowhere to be found. I'm looking, my sister's looking, my mom and brother's like, who are you looking for? No one's even here. The two people acknowledge this. Before I was born, um, my mom had lost a daughter a couple weeks old who also, obviously, I never got to meet. And as I think back, and my sister thinks back, that this was a sister. God answered a prayer. Miracles do happen in the most mysterious ways, but if you have enough intent and belief and trust in the other side, God will answer those prayers. There were a couple times in my life I went through some downfalls, which we all do, and uncertainty in the physical realm of obstacles that were hard to come by or achieve and get through in such a way where this girl came through in the dream state, reassuring me that my life would be fine, that she'd be watching over me. And I'd wake up the next mornings feeling as if I was alive again. My soul was restored and my problems would be eventually taken care of. And my sister also, years later, had dreams of her coming through and answering prayers. Do loved ones watch over us even if we haven't met them? Yes. Do miracles happen from the other side in the most mystical, mysterious ways? Yes. People ask me, well, Phil, if you were in heaven, did you meet God? No. You see, the light is the creator. The creator is the love of all living things that exist in the physical realm. And that is God. Having this experience, I consider myself as a messenger to help and teach other people in a way that we go on. It's as if um, our loved ones are going to bury us, and or we're going to bury our loved ones. But you see, when you do cross over, you become alive. The physical body is just a shell that we use to go through the journey of life in the physical realm that we want to experience before we come into this realm. I truly believe from my experience that we write our lives out and we choose our parents and we choose everything. And I also get asked, well, why would someone choose a horrific death? Or why would someone choose to see such tragedies and demise? When you cross over, you see things on an abundance of everything as a 360 degree of who you are and everything around you, that it does exist and you understand it. This is a temporary vehicle that we're in, as if you lease a car. That's what it is. And life is precious. You have to live life in the best way you can. But what I also tell people, you could be the poorest person on earth, but you could be the richest person in soul. I'd rather be the richest person in soul because you see, that's what you take with you. It's not the money that you make, It's not the fame that you have in the physical realm. You don't take that with you. You take the unconditional love of everything you've done, everyone you've brought into this realm, and you are the light of someone else's darkness, and you take that vibrational energy of peace within and you take that on to eternity. And that's so important to know. I teach people do things for mankind. Build the energy within your soul's wisdom and the journey of why you came here and what you wanted to experience. Take your fellow man by the hand that is down and in need and don't expect for anything back. Heaven is real. I like to call it home because it is the place when you get there. Not only will you see loved ones from this realm, but you will see loved ones from past lives. And that is magnificent. Be the best person you can be with the best experiences that you can have and complete this journey as if it were your last. And I promise you, when your time and your number are called, you take that beautiful feeling within with you. I want to thank you for watching this video, this interview. And when you're done watching it, pray with intent and love for a miracle. And I promise you it will be answered. And if it's not answered in some mysterious way, God had a reason for it, but it'll be answered another way. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching today's episode. Please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.